I'm sat with Viv Allen, who is the founder of DorPIP, which is the Dorset charity, a partnership.
Yeah.
And there's possibly one in your area as well if you're not from Dorset. So please don't think that this video is only for people based in Dorset. But Viv, thank you so much for chatting to us here at Hey Mummy. I, for one, love the work that you're doing. It's very close to my heart as somebody who has struggled with postnatal depression. Your charity, what you're doing with DorPIP is really an incredible thing and so needed. Just tell us a little bit about what DorPIP does, Viv.
Yeah. We're a Dorset-based charity, but really what we offer is parent-infant relationship support, so it's quite specialist. And in terms of what we're really looking to do is help parents attune to their babies, and there can be lots of reasons why that doesn't come naturally, and I think it's like, we all know babies don't come with a manual, but we do our very best to help parents learn from their babies the cues and the so that they can attune, so they can meet their emotional needs as well as their physical needs.
I think when you say that, it can be quite a horrific thing to listen to. What, mothers that don't bond with their babies? That's horrific, that's terrible. And I think there is a massive fear, isn't there, that admitting that perhaps the bond isn't there is quite a frightening thing to do. And also even working out that something's not quite right as well, because I think when you're in the moment, before you have a baby and after you have a baby, you don't identify that something's not quite right. So how would you identify that? What are the cues? What are the things that might help somebody think, actually that's me and that's my baby?
Yeah. Well, and also, firstly, I would want to say is that you say, about mothers not bonding with their babies. Remember, dads played an absolutely crucial part in that whole relationship and the development of the baby. And sometimes, parenting doesn't come naturally to them either. So we do help parents, mums and dads, whether they're co-parenting or however they present.
Yeah.
But to work specifically with the mum and dad in the relationship with the baby. So the sort of things that can impact on that relationship really. People often think in these terms as well, mental health. Well, actually, having a mental health condition doesn't stop you from bonding with your baby. There are lots of other things that can impact that.
Yeah.
For example, birth trauma. So if the birth's been very difficult, that can really have a big impact on the relationship. If there's
also speed of birth as well, which is a bit of a funny one, but I had very fast labours, and actually that can be quite a trauma.
Yeah. And I like to think that the service we offer is to help parents transition into parenting. So we work with parents right from conception to right up to when the baby's age 2, because we know those are the first 1,001 critical days for the brain development for the baby. It's really important. And we really do help from that beginning, right, of that relationship, right from the beginning. So parenting starts in the womb and right through.
Absolutely. And I think if there's one thing I'd love this video to do, it's perhaps for you to have a little think about yourself and your relationship with your baby, your newborn, or also the people around you, because it's actually really hard to identify the problem when you're living in the moment. And I certainly know that I did very well coping with quite a lot of trauma with baby number 1 and baby number 2. Baby number 1 for me suffered with febrile seizures. Baby number 2 with severe reflux. You'll know that from all my other videos. But baby number 3 came and there was reflux there, and it certainly wasn't as bad as it had been with Diggory. But I just wasn't ready for what happened, the change in me, the fact that actually I couldn't cope a third time round with more problems. And I didn't see the issues that were there and the postnatal depression that just kind of smacked me right in the face, really. And I didn't tell my health visitor there was a problem. I can even remember Caroline asking me, are you okay? Are you still enjoying being a mummy? And I can remember looking her in the eye and lying about it and saying that I was, because I was so frightened of admitting that I wasn't okay. So, what do people do? What are the steps you should take if you're listening to this video and you're thinking, actually, that's me. I'm I'm not enjoying this, or I'm not coping, or I'm not bonding with my baby, I'm not wanting to feed my baby, I'm propping the bottle up and going off to do other things, and I'm not, what are the things, the signs that people might see in themselves with their baby? What are the things that perhaps, and then what should they do about it? Who should they phone? And can they come to you directly at DorPIP or at your local PIP? What do people do, Viv?
I think, well, in terms of reaching out, I would absolutely say, if you don't feel right, you're probably not. So please reach out and ask for help. There is a lot of help available, but you might have to be a bit more explicit about where you really are, how you're really feeling. I totally recognise what you're saying about lying to your health visitor. I think I definitely went there as well. I think on reflection, I thought I'd reached out, but do you know what? I didn't spell it out because I was frightened that I was going to have my baby taken away, or that social services were going to get involved, and all of that was nonsense, really. But I didn't know that, and I didn't know it because I wouldn't speak up. So I would really encourage someone to maybe chat to a trusted friend in the first instance, say, am I really getting this wrong? But then seek professional help. So yes, if you happen to live in Dorset, yes, you could come directly to us. But I would encourage you to speak to your midwife or your health visitor, and the GP could refer as well. So we could take referrals either from healthcare professionals or from parents themselves.
Yeah.
And parenting is not easy. We all know that, but it should be joyful. And if you're not feeling that joy, then things can change. We really can help you. And early intervention is absolutely key, because the sooner we can get everybody, wrapped around to give the right support, like you say, perhaps your partner wasn't able to support you for whatever reason that was going on for him. You take, what is that expression? It takes a village to raise a baby. It really does.
It really
you're
does.
Not on your own. There's lots of things, and our service is very specialist. But we provide a lovely, safe, nurturing environment where you can just really take that time without any distractions to listen and attune to your baby. And our skill is in reflecting back to you what your baby's saying, because sometimes that conversation you have in your head, what you think the baby's saying when they're crying or they hate me, it's not at all what's happening. And if you could just get that other person who helps you just step back a little bit, take a little bit more time, then you can start to see those really subtle cues that come through so beautifully.
And I think, hearing you say that, parenting really isn't easy. It's so hard. And, I saw a lady in the supermarket the other day, and whether it was her first time out with her newborn, I don't know, but she had the newborn baby in the car seat, in the trolley, and was trying to do the shopping, and it just looked so difficult. And then this newborn baby started to scream, and for me it just it was such a lovely sound, because to me a newborn baby cry is so diddy and so and I would have loved to be able to go up, and I am that person who would rush over and give your baby a cuddle, but I could see that for her it was just making her so tense and so uncomfortable, whether it was feed time or or whether she just didn't know what the baby was crying for. And I just wanted to go and give her a hug like the strange lady in the supermarket, and just tell her that it was absolutely fine. And that cry that is so piercing for a mother when it's your own baby just didn't sound awful to everybody else in the supermarket. And I really think those first days are so tough. Like you said, there is no manual when you become a parent, and dads as well. It's so hard. You just get given your car seat with your baby in it, and that's it. Go and work it out. Work out breastfeeding, bottle feeding, sleep routines, whatever you're going to do. Work out how you're going to do it, and off you go. It's a really tough thing, and it's so lovely to know that there are incredible places to turn to, like DorPIP, like PIP in whichever area you're in, and health visitors, midwives, doctors are a great place to start as well, to go and ask for help. There really is so much support nowadays that perhaps wasn't there before, and we live, we're raising our children in such a different way. So many of us live far away from families, and so it really is down to friends. And so often when you have a baby, I think a lot of your friends are at a different point, either with parenting or in life itself. They might not have kids, or they might have older kids. They might have been there and done it. So actually, you've got to find yourself a whole new support network, and it's so important to get yourself out to groups, I think, isn't it?
It is. And if you've got a children's centre in your area, I would definitely recommend going in to see what they have on offer, because they run an amazing range of classes, certainly the ones that we have here in Dorset. So building your network of friends. And I do find that, I'm thinking of, when you've spoken, I've just thinking of a couple of clients that have come to mind. I had one particular lady who's really struggled because there was quite a large gap between the first child and second child. So all that network of friends she had the first time weren't there.
Yeah.
And then the second child was completely different from the first one. And so
they always are.
It was that complete shift. She kept having to sort of like go over a hill, almost like a sleep bubble, to think, oh no, this baby's not like the other one. So I've got to treat this baby differently.
Yeah.
And that baby is a baby, but it's a person. I think we've got it in a person, no matter how small,
Yeah.
And when we worked together, she was able to really start seeing that baby's individual characteristics, and that was what was so beautiful. But it was just taking that step back that helped.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is recognising that you are different.
Yeah.
You're a different person. Even if you've had your babies close together, I had a 2.5 year gap between my boys, and both times. And I was a completely different person. I was 2.5 years down the line of hardly any sleep. 2.5 years down the line of not having a job in London. 2.5 years down the line of not having as much time as I wanted for myself and my fitness and the things that I've always enjoyed through life. Of course, I'm a different person after 2.5 years of parenting. And in my case, I'd also done a lot of work with children before I had children, and there's so much mentally that changes over that period of time. I was a completely different person with other people's kids when I was going to send them home with their parents at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, to when 5 o'clock parents never came to pick them up, because that's feed time, and you're doing that job as well, and then it's bath time, you're doing that job, and then you're putting them to bed. You just are a very different person each child you have, and realising that is really, really important too, I think. And
you brought another client to mind as well, I'm thinking about. And again, it's a similar situation, sounds like anyway, where, mum had a very high-flying career, and used to running a team and managing large numbers of people, lots of responsibility, and then transitioning to be a mum with the baby that just does not apply any sense of it doesn't matter what routines you put in place, this baby's going to run its own life. And that learning to really be in the moment and present for what your baby's needs are, rather than your needs, and then managing your needs and making sure you take care of yourself somewhere in that mix is so tricky.
It really is. It really, really is. And oh God, there's so many things that can affect your bond with your baby, whether you're father or mother. And I think both Viv and I, if there's anything that this video does for you, it's to take a look at yourself and see whether you're struggling a bit and you need a bit of support, because the support is there, and we want you to be able to have the strength to ask for it. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your baby. It does not mean that your baby is going to be stuck in a system that you don't want to be stuck in, or that they would be taken away from you, or that you're going to be thought of as a bad mother or father. You're not a bad mother or father if you're having problems bonding with your child. And it's really sad that those are some of the reasons that stop people from asking for help. It's really normal, and probably, I don't know what percentages are and statistics are, but I would imagine it's more common than we actually realise.
Well, certainly from all of the public work that we do, when we do train station events and public awareness, the number of people that come up to me and go, God, I wish I'd known there was a service available like this when I was having my children. And that is, to all age ranges. So, I think a lot of it reflects us, like you say, we're not living in our sort of traditional values are totally changed in terms of, we've got disjointed families and career aspirations and coming to parenting at different stages. So like you say, networks of friends and families, the people who we're around to support look different now, and I think that's the important thing. We just need to know that support's still there. It's just perhaps in a different place. So
yeah. Well, there we go. Please do reach out. You can pick up the phone. You can find your local PIP online. Call your health visitor. Call your midwife. Or your doctor. There is absolutely no shame in asking for some help and some support with all this stuff. And thank you, Viv, so much, because if the world didn't have people like you doing what you do, then there would be a lot more people out there struggling. So as a mum who has struggled myself, I'm really grateful that there are people like you who have a passion for helping people who are struggling with their newborn babies, right the way through. Thank you for watching this video, and hope it helps you or somebody around you that you love or care for.
Thank you.